to share with you 8 lessons that I learned in the months of September and October. We're wasting time. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. I'm Allie Mack and I'm a teacher and I'm here to help you have the best school year ever. So far this school year, the 2019-2020 school year, is starting to become one of my most challenging years ever. And I'm going to share with you 8 things that I have learned in this video. You don't want to miss number 8 on this list, because I was very fortunate, and all the people in my district were fortunate enough to hear Dr. Adolf Brown speak. And number 8 on this list is some advice that I got from him. So let's go ahead and get into the video. The first lesson I learned came from an amazing teacher. She's my inclusion teacher. We're going to call her Miss G. When you are teaching a skill, do not move on to the next activity until every student understands. The way Miss G does this is she uses a variety of questioning techniques. She will ask different students different questions relating to the problem. She will also have them get up and demonstrate their knowledge. And a lot of times I'm a little scared or nervous to have a kid go up or explain when I feel like they don't understand, because I don't want to put them on the spot.
But I have seen before my very own eyes that whenever you put this pressure on these students, it holds them accountable.
It makes them really focus on your lesson, because they have no idea what you are going to ask them. But what they do know is that you are going to ask them something. I know that I am always big on, okay, we've got to get through this, and this throughout the lesson. And even if kids did not understand, I would move on. I'm like, okay, I'll get them later. And a lot of times I would, but isn't it better just to get them right there while you're teaching it? One way that I have seen Miss G get students to answer questions correctly is, say they just absolutely don't know the answer to the question. She will ask a question on a smaller scale, and then they can answer that. And she's like, look, you just did that in your head. Come on, okay, it's the same principle. Well, then how would I do this? Then they apply that simpler problem to the more complex one, and then they feel successful. They feel like they can do this. So that is such a good lesson learned, is that you need to not move on till everyone understands. This brings me to my next item on this list. The second lesson I learned is it is okay to put pressure on your students. But in order to do this, you need to create a safe environment where they feel comfortable to make mistakes. I know I like to point out all the time when I make mistakes, because that way they see that we're all human and we're all learning. One might also argue that getting people or children out of their comfort zone is the way they truly learn. This reminds me of a college professor I had. I know sometimes I would like kind of doze off or kind of daydream, but I did not daydream in his class, because he'd get right in your face and ask you a question, and if you did not know, he would make a big deal about it. So everybody paid attention in his class, because we did not want to look stupid in front of all of our classmates. Number 3 on this list. It is okay to teach conceptual learning alongside with procedures. I know in math class, when it was just MCT2 and not Common Core, we did not really have to get into why this works, or the concepts and the conceptual and the thinking it through and understanding it all. We could basically just teach them steps. Step 1, do this. Step 2, do this. Step 3, do that. So what I'm saying is, when I tried to teach all conceptual, my students did not seem to be grasping it. They did not seem to be completely understanding the routine and how to solve these problems. So what I decided to do was go ahead and teach conceptually, so they understood why it worked, demonstrations, diagrams, the whole 9 yards, but also teach them procedures with it. This allows my lower performing students to feel successful. So usually I will write the steps on the board, and as they're solving, okay, I'll be like, okay, what's step 1? And they'll look at step 1, they'll do it. Okay, what's step 2? Step 2, okay, got it. And this allows them to be successful, and I feel like these routines and this drill and practice will help them understand and help them feel successful while they're learning why it works the way it works. The 4th lesson I learned in September and in October is to know your students' IEPs, backwards, forwards, sideways, and everything you can. Know what their disabilities are and research, if needed, strategies to help these students be successful. Usually the inclusion teacher that serves these students is your best resource, and they can tell you what works for them and what does not work for them. I have found that when I follow these students' behavior plans and I look up and research their disability and what helps them be successful, it's amazing how it actually works. The fifth lesson I learned is how to run centers in middle school. I've tried this a variety of ways, but this way seemed to work the best for me. You have 3 groups, and in my class I had 2 tables on this side, rows in the middle, and 2 tables on this side. And I just made tables out of desks. And what I did was I had the new skill was here with me. So I was reviewing and reteaching the new skill. Then I had students in the middle working on Math Prodigy. It's great, it's free, and you can choose the skill they practice. And then over here was like a review and drill center. And I would change after 10 minutes. And that gave me plenty of time to do like an introduction, a bell assignment, and an exit ticket. And that seemed to work well, and kids did not get bored because they just changed their task every 10 minutes. And if you decide to use Math Prodigy, I would suggest projecting on the board the questions answered for that day and have them refresh, because it basically gives them trophies, who's got first place, second, third, and then that way they know that you're monitoring them whether they're working on questions or goofing off. So that's really helpful. The 6th lesson that I learned, and I have never done this before until this school year, was to give my bell ringer question as an introduction to my lesson. So they would get a higher order thinking question, a real world problem question, and they would be given like a worksheet to solve, whether it be in Google Classroom or an actual paper worksheet. And you have your problem, and then in this box it asks, what type of math problem is this? And justify. So a student might read the problem and be like, oh, this is an addition problem because it uses the words total and combined and things like that. So they would say this is an addition problem because blah, 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 blah. So in this square, and I'll put this up so you can see it, I might even add it to my website. It's hotforteaching.weebly.com. Please go there for your free template.
Yes.
I would suggest following Pocketful of Primary's video on how to create online resources. That's where I learned to make this worksheet. But anyway, back to what I was saying. And in this box, it says, what is this problem about? What's the question? And even the kids that are the lowest level learner can look at the problem and see the question and write it in there. Okay, and then underneath it, it says, what are the keywords or important information? And even the lowest level learners can point out the numbers, say if it's a math problem or whatever. And then in the final box, this is usually the part I work out with students after the time is up and they've had time to sort of digest the problem. It is tell me in words how to solve, and then put the answer in the box. So I have found that doing it this way, you're not wasting time on the 5 minutes or however much you choose for your bell work. You're not wasting time reviewing, and not saying this is wasteful time either, but say you have a real meaty lesson that day. This gets them into the lesson, and then when you're reviewing, boom, you're right up there with your direct instruction and your teacher input. So that's a good way to save time, and it gets them thinking about what you're doing that day immediately. So this is a strategy I have learned. I always use my bell work for like review, but this strategy of giving them the new skill in their bell assignment with guided questioning has been super helpful. And I am going to put that resource on my website template. That way you can see what I'm talking about. Number 7 on this list, kids need to take notes by hand. And I have been a science teacher, and I have been a history teacher, I have been a math teacher, I've been an English teacher, and to be honest, this is the first school year that I have not made students take notes. I have not made them take notes because I was like, I'll just give them handouts and then this gives them more time to practice the skill. Well, based on assessments, I realized that this isn't working. Kids need to take notes. And there is so much research behind this, I cannot believe this is one of those things I dropped the ball on. According to the website scholarshippoints.com, taking notes by hand is way more effective to memorizing what you have written down than typing them digitally, because usually you cannot write down every word. So this forces your brain to think, summarize, and shorten it on paper. So we know that this is a higher level thinking skill. So therefore, your students need to be taking notes. And then that way they have something to study later. Duh, right? According to another website, lifehack.org, our brain uses two very different skills, whether we're typing or whether we are writing. Whenever you type, you are basically mindlessly transcribing the work and you're not really thinking about it. When you write notes by hand, you're having to shorten, summarize, and then record the information. Your brain is more engaged and you're more willing, or you're more able to comprehend what you are writing down. And there's so much more research on this. If it's proven, then I need to use it, and you need to use this in your classroom, okay? And just a side note, one thing that principals always rave about is that I have a pencil icon. Seriously, just Google pencil icon. And I will put a pencil icon on the screen on the slides that I want my students to write down. Because you know sometimes we'll be given a presentation and you don't need them to write down every word in your presentation. This little pencil icon is like an alert. Okay, I need to start writing while she's talking about it. And everyone who's seen that just thinks it's brilliant. And I think it's brilliant too, if I do say so myself. And also this is very helpful for ELL students. Also, this goes back to my very second video that I ever recorded, which had a lot of cutoffs and was, anyway, let's not talk about that. But basically one of my rules was, if I write it down, you write it down. And that is so helpful too, because that keeps the kids right along with you and right along with the lesson. Now, if you have made it this far in the video, you are wanting to see that gold star piece of advice, that gold star lesson that I received from Dr. Adolf Brown. I was blessed, and all the teachers in my school district were blessed to hear him speak. And the main point of his whole speech was, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. But in order for teachers to be successful, we need to take care of ourselves. We need to balance work and home. We need to do the life things that make us comfortable at home. We need to spend time with our families. We need to go to the doctor for checkups. We need to do all those things. And that is one thing I am going to do. Because if you saw my one video about the dark side of being a teacher, you will see that I struggle with anxiety, and it has been off the chain this year. I don't know why, but it has been. So basically, Dr. Brown told me everything I needed to hear. And let me tell you, I do not remember the last time I laughed that hard and for that long a period of time. And the teachers at my school were lucky enough to get to have a private session with him. And one of the biggest messages he had, other than take care of yourself, was to not judge a book by its cover. Because he used to be one of those kids that people might have just given up on. But now he is a doctor and he goes and speaks all around the world. And he delivers these amazing messages, and I'll link his information in the description below.
I'm asked to do this about every 6 or 7 years for the National School Superintendents Conference. School leaders throughout our country, some from other countries because they want to see what we do. The last time I did it, I was in Charleston, South Carolina. I walked in like this. Matter of fact, people call my office, they don't know what to call it. You know, everybody's trying to be really PC. We'd like Dr. Brown to come and kind of do that. My office, we call it the undercover brother. But they also need to see people who look like them in successful roles.
Real talk.
So when I go places like this, I'm challenging you to make sure that you're accepted, not just the students, but sometimes you're going to have colleagues that understand that success is not a look. It's right here. Real talk. So they asked me to come and do it. I did it, ladies and gentlemen, Charleston, South Carolina. I walked into the conference, about 5,000 school leaders from around the world. I walked in like this. If you see anyone walking like that, you know when Dr. Brown said that's down on your knees. So I walk in. I was in there maybe 2 minutes, and I was told that a great majority of them called the police. Don't be offended, sir. give everyone you meet the benefit of
The doubt.
because it says more about them than it does you.
This is what happened when anyone got up to leave to go to the bathroom.
Beverly, this is for you. If you get up, you see what's gonna happen. We're gonna dance. In the spirit of love, light, and insight. Stop telling students, why didn't you take care of it before you came to my class? Because you'll get up today, because the body will let you know when it needs to do something. It's called life. Everybody get it? And I don't use music as a brain break, ladies and gentlemen. I'm a research scientist. What does that look like? I use music because researchers have shown that music and art are the only things that open all the learning centers of the brain at the same time. Give it up for music and art teachers! I can't hear you. Music and art teachers, give it up for them!
Then when he would be dancing with one person, a group would sneak out the other way. So funny.
He's super fast. You know someone just ran the, like the mile under, what is it, under excuse me, a marathon, 26.2 miles in under 2 hours. I think you could do that. You're pretty fast. All I saw was like a blur of yellow. Man, I didn't want you to miss out on it. I had something for you. But I have it for you. You got to be at least 50 or older to appreciate it. So if you're not, you'll grow to appreciate it. And I wanted to give you this song. I'd be in trouble if you left me now. To look for love. I just don't know. The students will do the same thing.
Super hilarious, super funny. I don't know what to say. Awesome. I just let the videos speak for themselves.
Make a difference, gonna make it right.
Change. When I say because of you, you say because of me. Because of you.
Because of me.
Say it like you mean it. Because of you.
Because of me.
I change, ladies and gentlemen, over time, not overnight. Students aren't widgets that go into assembly factories and come out quality stamped and approved. This was over time. Oh, you getting a photo? Hold on, 1 second. When you get a photo with me, hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. My wife looks at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. When I'm finished, if you get a picture of me outside of the undercover brother without this, I'm in trouble. Okay, another one.
Really enjoyed hearing him. And also, if you want him to come to your school, go to his website and get him to come speak to you guys. Seriously, worth every penny. Thank you all so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to go to my website. It is hotforteaching.weebly.com. Also, don't forget to follow me on all my social media. I will have them linked below in the description. And if you are a teacher, please tell me what you learned in the months of September and August. Tell me your best piece of advice, the best thing you realized, your light bulb moment. I really want to hear it. And if you are not a teacher, please comment below a fun fact for me to read. I love fun facts. Fun fact, I love fun facts. Oh yeah.
And again, thank you guys so much for watching.
Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you in our next video. Goodbye.